I've had my YouTube channel for over 3 years, and I have helped dozens of people move to the Cleveland area from all over the country and even out of the country. And the top two suburbs that people request are Avon and Avon Lake. And in today's video, I am going to dig deep and tell you the pros and cons of living in each of these West Side suburbs. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Patty. My channel is Living in Cleveland, and I make videos about all things Northeast Ohio, Northwest Ohio, and even down south. You know the drill. If you don't want to miss any of my videos, hit the subscribe, hit the like, leave some comments. I love it. Okay, let's get going. Avon, Avon Lake. Is there a difference? Yes, sorta, kinda. So I've been doing these videos for 3 years, since 2020. I probably have, I think I have almost 300 videos out there. I've done several videos on Avon and several videos on Avon Lake. They are probably the most popular West Side suburbs that people who call me or looking to move to the Cleveland area that they really, really want to move to. And you know, what's the difference? Is there a difference? So I'm gonna go into it. So let's get started. Okay, a lot of my info is coming from niche.com. Niche.com rates Avon, Ohio as the #1 suburb in Lorain County. Okay, Niche.com rates Avon Lake the #2 suburb in Lorain County. Okay, so there you go. They are neck and neck. Let's talk about Lorain County. Lorain County, Avon, Avon Lake are right outside of Cuyahoga County. So, and I've done these videos before, when you move out of Cuyahoga County, especially into Lorain County, your property taxes go down. So the tax rate in both Avon and Avon Lake are almost neck and neck. Avon is 2.1 and Avon Lake is 2.04. So really no difference in tax rates. So there you go. Those are neck and neck. So no real difference there. Let's talk about where each town is located. Avon Lake, if you haven't guessed, situated right on Lake Erie, which is a plus for many people. I personally love Avon Lake because it's right on the lake. And I love people walking up and down lake. And as soon as the weather gets warmer, I'm going to be doing a video driving down Lake Road. You can drive it all the way out to Huron, all the way to Edgewater Park on the border of Cleveland. And then Huron is in Erie County. So you can just take it the whole way. We do it all the time. The houses are beautiful. The views of the views of Lake Erie are absolutely gorgeous. So Avon Lake is on the water. Then maybe Avon Lake is the city for you. Avon is directly south of Avon Lake. Let's talk about geography. Avon is a very large suburb. It is, 21 square miles. When I was growing up, Avon was all farmland. There were cute little neighborhoods, you know, some older neighborhoods, but basically it was farmland. Avon did not start getting developed until the 2000s, late 90s, 2000s. So you have a lot of big developments in Avon. So there you go. But it is a very large suburb. Avon Lake is only a little bit over 11 square miles. So much smaller in geography and, you know, how much land it covers. But let's talk about population. Both cities have about 25,000 people living in it. So now keep in mind that a lot of Avon is still rural. There are a lot of farms there. There's a lot of nurseries, so it takes up a lot of space. They also have some very, very large parks that take up acres and acres and acres. So population neck and neck. So right now we have taxes neck and neck. Population is neck and neck. Obviously Avon's a bigger city. It's more spread out. Avon Lake is very small, but also Avon Lake is on the water. Okay, so let's talk about homes. Home prices. They're pretty much, it depends. Just in February, the average home price in Avon was about $420,000, and in Avon Lake, the average home price was $339,000. Both suburbs have $1 million homes. In fact, there's a home, it's for sale, $5.5 million in Avon Lake because it's on the water. Anything built on the water are multi-million-dollar homes. It's just the way it is. Can't do it. And the most expensive house, and this is just current, Most expensive house for sale in Avon is $960,000. I have pictures of both of them up here. And that's in Highland Park, which is probably one of the most prestigious developments in Avon. That and Red Tail are probably the two, and everybody's going to argue, no, this one is, that one isn't, whatever. Red Tail's always been, it's on a golf course. It's always been one of the most prestigious developments in Avon, and Highland Park is up there too. Okay, so let's keep talking about homes. I already said that Avon has a lot of, mostly you think of developments when you think of Avon. Like, oh, I'm in Red Tail, I'm in Bentley Park, I'm in Amberwood. You know, that's how you decipher where you're from. You don't say, I don't live in this neighborhood or that neighborhood. You say what development you live in. Now, the same goes for Avon Lake, because it has been expanding just like Avon and just like everywhere else out in Lorain County. It's going further and further west. So you do have a lot of developments. And the first one was West Winds, which has been around since the 80s, probably even maybe earlier. But it's probably the oldest development in Avon Lake. And you can get to it right from Lake Road. Beautiful homes. And in the back, they've built some newer ones. But you also have just neighborhoods, because it's an older suburb, because basically people want to live by the water. It's just a thing. So while it does still have, and these developments they're still building, oh my God, they start at like $600,000-$700,000 in Avon Lake. It's crazy. So I would say home prices are pretty they pretty much even. It just depends. Do you want to be in a development? Do you want to be in a neighborhood? Because you can still get in some really nice neighborhoods in Avon Lake. All right. So last week I did a video on the top 10 schools according to niche.com and the Cleveland Magazine and all that stuff, because everybody wants to know, when people call me looking to move to Cleveland, especially if they have a family, the most important thing are the schools. So let's dig deep into Avon and Avon Lake schools. So according to the Ohio Department of Education, both schools get an A. They're both neck and neck. Niche.com, I think, rates Avon a little bit higher than Avon Lake, and I don't know why. They both have a couple B's. They're neck and neck. You can't go wrong with either school district. To me, they're tied. So let's go into it a little bit more. Let's talk about sports. A lot of people care. They want their kids to do well in sports, and playing for a winning team is very, very important to a lot of parents. So let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about pay to play, because that is a thing. Both districts have pay to play, and they're pretty much similar. Avon, their pay to play is $200 per student, and it's for the entire year. It's not per sport. In some districts here in Ohio, they do have it per sport, which can be, it can just add up. So for high school, it's $200 per student for the whole year. So you can play football, basketball, track, and that $200 covers you. It's $100 for middle school, and there's a $350 family cap. So there you go. But like I said, pay to play is a thing. And also Avon Lake, they're very similar. They're a little bit more expensive. They're $350 per student per year and a $400 family max. So a real thing. Now, both schools belong to the same conference. Now, I know this from my former teaching years. Schools change conferences all the time. And right now, both Avon and Avon Lake are part of the SWC, the Southwest Conference. And that's with like Elyria, North Ridgeville, a lot of Lorain County. Olmsted Falls is in it, Amherst. So a lot of Lorain County schools are in it. Like, I think Avon Lake back in the day was like in North Olmsted and Westlake, but now they've all moved out. North Olmsted, Westlake, all those, Fairview, Cuyahoga, Western Cuyahoga schools are in the Great Lakes West District or Division. So, okay, so there's that. Now, let's talk about football. It's important to everybody. Football, Avon was first place in its conference. So it was 7-0. It won all seven games in its conference, and it was 12-2 overall. So first place in the conference. So pretty good. Avon has a much better football team. But get this, Avon Lake was third in the SWC. They were 5-2 in conference and 9-3 overall. Guess who was second place? Olmsted Falls. I think I need to do another Olmsted Falls video. Their sports are top notch. And last for football was Amherst. They didn't win one game in their conference, and that's the school district I live in. So sad. Okay, so football's not everything. The big sport for girls in Ohio, and all my girls played it. Well, except for my one, she played basketball. Well, it's basketball and volleyball. I should look up basketball. I will. But volleyball, just because my whole life with my kids have been volleyball. Avon Lake, overall, they won 17. They won 17, lost 7. Their conference was 10-4, and they were third place in the SWC. So Avon Lake has a much better volleyball team. And volleyball is huge in Ohio. Avon was 5th in the SWC. Their conference, they were even, 7-7. Guess who was first place in volleyball for the conference? Olmsted Falls. And just from experience, they've been so good since my kids played volleyball in high school at North Olmsted. And guess who was second? Amherst. In middle school, my daughter Katie, who ended up going to a private high school just for volleyball, because of volleyball, when she played with North Olmsted Middle School, every time they would play either Olmsted Falls or Amherst, they would just freeze up, could never beat them. It was even the high school, when my oldest daughter, she went to North Olmsted High School. Even when they would play, I was like, oh gosh, they would get so intimidated. So Olmsted Falls, Amherst, top-notch volleyball programs. Amherst, not so much football. Olmsted Falls, it's got it going on. Okay, let's talk about basketball, because that's the winter sport. So boys, Avon, they were 5th in the Southwest Conference, an 8-6 record. Avon Lake was 1st. So there you go. Avon, they're both neck and neck. It depends on what sports. If that's really important to you, Avon Lake has the better basketball program for boys. Avon has the better football program. Avon Lake has the better girls volleyball program. Now let's talk about girls basketball. Guess who's number 1? Olmsted Falls. One of our volleyball families from club volleyball, one of the girls, and she was an amazing volleyball player, but she was an even better basketball player for Olmsted Falls. She played both, and just killer. She went on for a full ride. She's graduating this year. Full ride for basketball. So Olmsted Falls, number 1 basketball. Avon Lake are tied. They both were 7-7. 4th place, 5th place. Avon Lake was 4, Avon 5, but they're neck and neck. So there you go. I think sports, it just depends. What's more important? If you're going to a school for a sports, it just depends on the sport. You're just gonna have to look it up. I looked all this up on maxpreps.com. Okay, so moving on. We got the sports. Oh, I forgot to put their logo. So Avon are the Eagles. It's the Avon Eagles. And then you have the Avon Lake Shoremen, right? Because it's on the water. Got it? Good. All right. Now let's talk about amenities, and in particular, the rec center that each of these suburbs has. So let's talk about Avon first. Avon, I do not think they have an actual rec center, but what they do have, they have an aquatic center. I have a picture of it up here. Beautiful with your slides, your kiddie park, all that stuff. And a pass is about $300 for a family of 6. It goes down. I think a family of 2 people is like $130, $75 for one person. So it's got a huge rec center, or huge aquatic center. It's got several parks. It's got Avon Isle Park right on Detroit. And what it is it's like a building, and you can reserve it. I have a picture of up here. It seats about 150 people. There's an outdoor patio and gazebo. So it's a great place for showers, or you probably do a wedding, any kind of event. And it's cheap. If you're a resident, you can rent it for $250 for 4 hours, or for the whole day for $500. There's also the Avon Lions Community Center that you can also rent. It's got a full kitchen, seats about 55 people, and you can rent it for $100 for 4 hours. So a great place for like a bridal shower. Okay, there's Little League Park, which they have the baseball diamonds, a skate park, playground, a pavilion. And then there's Northgate Park, which is about 14 acres. It's off Colorado Avenue. There's a playground, there's soccer fields. It's got a fishing pond. It's got a sledding hill and a ice skating pond for the winter. Okay, there's Veterans Memorial, which is right on Detroit. And I've been there many times when my kids were playing sports. They have the baseball diamonds. It's 98 acres. It's huge. Now, remember what I said. Avon is like double the geographical area of Avon Lake. And that's because they have these huge, in addition, they still have a lot of rural area, but they have a 98-acre park. It's crazy. They have a dog park there. So that's where all the fields are. You have a playground, all that stuff. And they just recently, 2 years ago, they purchased Eagle Point Park. They purchased it from a local nursery, and it's about another 16.5 acres. It's got a 4-acre pond, and it's connected. And they have these trails they've put in through here, and basically what it's for, like they built it for the cross country teams because they host a lot of meets and stuff, but it's open to the public. But that's why they did create it, so they could host some, major cross-country meets. So that's about it for the parks for Avon, Ohio. Now, let's go talk about Avon Lake. Where's my notes on Avon Lakes? Okay, they have a rec center. It's called the Anchor Rec Facility, right on Lake Road. That's where you have your basketball courts. You can rent it out. You can have a birthday party there. They also have an aquatic center, very similar. It's part of Blazer, B-L-E-S-E-R. I have a picture of it up here. Blazer Park, which is the main park. And there for the park, the aquatic center is very similar to Avon, Ohio. It's about $250 a year. So very, very similar. The same thing. All these communities, you move to a city for their amenities. Well, I didn't because I don't have a rec center, but I have a pool in my development. So, but also many of these big developments in Avon and Avon Lake also have their own development park, their own development pool. My daughter, she was a lifeguard in an Avon development pool. So that's just an added bonus. You have your development, facilities, then you have your city facilities, but we're focusing on city. Okay, so we talked about the Anchor Rec Facility. Now there's also other places, part of Blazer Park, you can rent out. There's the Folger Home, and then there's the Lake House. Folger Home has you can seat about 50 people. It's got a full kitchen. It's a very historical home. I have a picture of it. Then you have the Lake House, which you can rent, and that's for about 85 people. Okay, where did I put about Blazer Park? Blazer Park. It's right on Electric Boulevard. Because Electric Avenue is the song, right? Okay, so it's called the Avon Lake Play Space, ALPS. It's 12,000 square feet of all playground. But unfortunately, right now, it's being renovated. So according to the website, I don't know if they've updated the website, but it's unavailable right now. But it's going to be amazing. So that Blazer Park is the main park, and that homes the Folger Home and the Lake House. And then they also have Veterans Memorial Park, just like Avon, but guess where Avon Lake's Veterans Memorial Park is? You guessed it, right on Lake Road. It's right on the Route 83 and Route 6, and Route 6 is actually Lake Road. So it's got the Avon Lake Book Club. It's got, oh no, I'm wrong. Lake House and Folger Park and Folger House are part of Veterans Memorial, not Blazer. The Aquatic Center is part of Blazer. Okay, sorry. So Veterans Memorial, that's their big park right on Lake Road. Because of course, why would you want to rent? If you're going to rent a space, you want it to be right on the water, right? Hello? Okay, they also have the Miller Road Park, which is 15 acres. And that's where they have the boat launch. That's also right on lake. They have a fishing pier. They have pavilions and gazebos that you can rent. Now, what I do like about Avon is they also have 9 neighborhood parks. And I've shown so many houses in Avon Lake, and it's so cool. Like this one house was awful, but right next to it was this amazing little neighborhood park. You had it all to yourself. And that's one thing I do not think Avon has, is these little neighborhood parks. And it is kind of, when you have young little kids, to just put the little babies in the stroller and walk two houses down and you have a park. It's kind of nice. So 9 neighborhood parks that I do not see on the Avon's website, and I haven't seen any. Another thing that Avon Lake has going for it is this partnership with the Lorain County Metro Parks. And I've done videos on the Cleveland Metro Parks. I've really never done a video on the Lorain County Metro Parks, but every county in Northeast Ohio has their own park system. And I live in Lorraine County, and we have this little called Beaver Creek Park. I walk it all the time. It's really cute. They're so well maintained, these parks they have. So they have, it's called the Kopf Family Reservation. It just got built. It was built in 2008, and it's only a little over 3 miles, but they're all trails. So it's 3 miles of trails. And this was a partnership between the Metro Parks, the City of Avon Lake Schools, and Avon Lake Library. So a really nice collaboration. So I think the parks, and I like being on the water, and I like having that, you know, we have parks on the water, we have parks in the neighborhoods. So now, this is my opinion. You do it, obviously, at the end of the day, when you fall in love with a house, I don't think it matters whether it's in Avon or Avon Lake. Here's what I don't like about Avon. I don't like the traffic. Avon has all the shopping, and I think that's why Niche rates it higher than Avon Lake. If I go to Avon probably every other day, that's where Costco is. That's where Marshall's is. Home Goods is there. There's a Heinen's there. Like Mitchell's Ice Cream is there. Can I go on and on and on? Those fancy restaurants. Red Steakhouse is there. Hex Cafe is there. The Melt Bar and Grill is there. So that's where all your shopping and dining, it's all in Avon. But that comes with a price, and that's the traffic. Getting off Route 83, I hate it. So I'm coming from the west. I never get off at Route 83. I'll get off on 611 and drive in. Take Detroit Road in all the way, because that intersection, it's so congested. It's awful. Even when I lived in North Olmsted from the east side, I would just take the back roads in because it's just awful. And I have a feeling that's why Avon was rated higher than Avon Lake, is because of the shopping and the dining and all that stuff. But now Avon Lake, which is rated number 2, of course it has shop. It doesn't have shop. It doesn't need a Costco. It's right down the street. It does have cute little restaurants, cute little bars. But if you want the shopping and the congestion, go to Avon. So if you can guess what my favorite is, if I could find my dream house in Avon Lake, that would be my first choice. I feel like in Avon Lake, even though the population is the same, I feel like it's more of a community feel. Whereas Avon, because it's twice the size geographically, everything's so spread out. You know, you're not walking to your friend's house if they're in a development on the other side of town, and not that you probably could in Avon Lake, but it's just smaller, a little more condensed. I don't know. I just like Avon Lake better. But honestly, if I found my dream home in Avon, yeah, and I could afford it, it is everything I wanted, I would not hesitate. Obviously, sending my kids to Avon schools, either one, they're in good hands either way. So honestly, they're neck and neck. My choice personally would go for Avon Lake first, but like I said, if I found an Avon one, I'd buy that as well. So obviously the choice is yours. I've had people, say, hey, either one, Avon Lake, we're open to either. And I think that's the good attitude to have. So thank you for watching. And hey, if you're interested in homes in Avon Lake, or anywhere else in Northeast Ohio, you know who to call. I'm here to help. I answer my phone, I answer my text, I answer my email. It's what I do. I love it. And I will see you next time.